constitutional provision and you should look. Okay. Now I come to the historical basis on which Ambedkar had asked a reservation. Now if you see in 1919, this is, you can read volume 1 of Baba Saheb Ambedkar Writing and Speeches. Volume 1 of Writing and Speeches of Baba Saheb Ambedkar, English. He has given a memorandum to Southborough Committee, 1919 Southborough Committee. And in Southborough Committee representation, he is talking about that what is a good government? What is a good government? And what is the function of a government? Now, he says that a good government is not only that which gives the representation to people, or you can say which gives the people's aspiration the representation. A good government is not that government which only gives representation to people's aspiration. Usually it is said that democracy is by the people, of the people, and for the people. So now I can say that, look, I am for you and I understand your aspiration, but I will make the law. You please sit scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, other backward classes, you sit down. I will make the law for you. So Baba Saheb said that this is not a good government. A good government is not government that understands the aspirations of the people only and gives representation to the aspiration that I understand your problem and I will make the law. A good government is that government which gives self-representation also. I want to make law for myself. So I should be sitting in the law-making place also, in the bureaucracy, in the judiciary, in the university. I should be sitting there and making laws for myself. So a good government is not that which gives only aspiration, representation of aspiration, but self-representation also. Now why self-representation is important? So he gave 3 very important reasons for self-representation. 1, he said that you argue that a government is by the people and for the people. It is by the people, for the people, and of the people. But if it is for the people, that you can carry on for the people for so very long. I understand your aspirations, I understand your problem, and I am for you. You keep on saying. But this for the people will not make a democratic government. Why? Because then one person who is making the law will be the ruler always. And those who are at the recipient end, they will be ruled always. So this government for the people will reduce some people ruler and others ruled. This situation should change. The ruled should also have the right to make law for the ruler. And the ruler should also experience when he becomes ruled. When the batons can change the hand, then and then only true democracy will emerge. Now, this is one aspect of it. Second aspect is, according to him, a government and society is for the development of the individual's personality. The basic function of society and the government is to develop the personality of the individual. And how individual's personality develops? It develops only when there are more avenues of communication. If there are more avenues of communication, I am there, I am communicating, I am interacting with you. So, actually the groups are intermingling. He uses the term endosmosis. When there are, then there is endosmosis. You are understanding what I am speaking? You are not writing anything, that's why I thought that you are recording. So endosmosis is there only when different groups interact. And if the rulers are there, then and then only, if the rulers are only from the one side, then their personality will develop only. The other's personality will not develop. Therefore, he said that you should give self-representation also. So, reservation is nothing but asking self-representation of the people of the deprived and excluded section of the society. That is one aspect. That why you need self-representation. Baba Sahib never used the term reservations. He was using self-representation. And self-representation is qualitatively different from reservation. Okay, that is one. Second, why do we need self-representation? He said that you are making laws. Those who are making laws in the bureaucracy, they are given amount, such large amount of power, colossal power is there in their hand to implement rules. Law is made there, but rules are implemented at grassroots level. The bureaucrats will implement the law. They will make the law there. Rules are passed, law is passed, there are rules, they will make rules. Now, Baba Sahib argued that are the implementer charged with the problems, pain and agony of the exploited groups? Are they really feeling for them? If they don't feel for them, their pain, agony, exploitation, suppression, exclusion, why will they make a law? So, to cut the long story short, Baba Sahib was trying to argue that only wearer of the shoe knows where it pinches. हिंदी में कहा जाता है जाके ना हो पैर पिवाई वो क्या जाने पीर पर आए. You have not suffered. You are not suffering. You do not know our pain and agony. How will you make rule and law for us? And therefore, you need self-representation. That was the second aspect to ask for self-representation. The third aspect is moral. The third aspect of asking self-representation is moral. And Baba Sahib Ambedkar quoted Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Baba Sahib Ambedkar quoted Gopal Krishna Gokhale, and Gopal Krishna Gokhale had put a petition to British Public Service Commission at that time. British Public Service, 1885. When the Indian Public Service Commission, the British India Public Service Commission had come and they were establishing. So Gopal Krishna Gokhale appeals to British bureaucracy that you are not giving self-representation to the Indians in the British Indian bureaucracy. You are not giving representation to Indians in British bureaucracy at that time, 1885. And because of that, you are not giving representation to us. Because of that, dwarfing and stunting of Indians are taking place. Dwarfing वो छोटी सी जो बोलती है चिड़िया, dwarfing जो छोटी चीज इनको जो है बहुत छोटा बना दिया जा रहा है. Stunting is taking place. The Indians are not able to achieve their total manhood. They are not able to achieve their full capability and capacity. This was the allegation of Gopal Krishna Gokhale against the British bureaucracy. Baba Saheb took that same lines and said that you are saying, you are alleging, you are putting an allegation on British bureaucracy that they are not giving you the chance and therefore your capacity and capability is going on, it is dwindling away. But you see that British bureaucracy or British rule in India is only 150 years old. It is 150 years old. You imagine our lot. You have not given us the same right for thousands of years. And therefore you have to think of our capacity and capability. How much damage you have done to our capacities and capabilities by not giving us the right to govern ourselves. You have not given us right in the bureaucracy. So what about our bureaucracy? And therefore, if you are asking self-representation of Indians from the British bureaucracy, how can you think that you are not asking us for our self-representation? Therefore, self-representation is a moral right of the suppressed people who have been denied the opportunity to cultivate their capacity and capability. Because ultimately, a government is a place where you have to cultivate your capacities. You have to develop your personality. And that's why a good government is that you give self-representation. So these were the three very important reasons because of which Baba Saheb Ambedkar asked for self-representation. One, that it is the place where actually you have to develop your individuality, capacity, therefore self-representation is required. A good government is that which does not only give self-representation to the aspiration but self-representation to individual also. That is one aspect. Second aspect is that people are not charged, the upper strata is not charged with that calling, with that feeling, so to uplift people, and therefore we need self-representation. Scheduled caste should be given representation. And third is the moral to also implement. If it was a problem for the Indians as a whole, it was also the problem for the Dalits. You are not asking. So on the basis of which this, Baba Saheb asked representation in bureaucracy and in judiciary, in services, and he had also asked reservation in the cabinet also. Baba Saheb Ambedkar had asked reservation in cabinet. Why? Because it is the cabinet which frames the law. And if the individual is present, then and then only he can influence. But people, the politicians were very, very, clever. They will never elect an educated person, so that when educated person is elected, he will go into the cabinet also. So therefore he will elect the least educated person. And when it is coming for cabinet formulation, then they will say he is not educated, therefore we are not taking it in the cabinet. So people do not get represented in the cabinet where rules and regulations are there. Now therefore, out of mind is equal to out of policy. When we do not have that consciousness, when we do not have that construction of knowledge, orientation, why will we make a law for the upliftment? Therefore, it is important. Self-representation was important. But what has happened over the years? That we have to see. Now the argument has come, reservations. Baba Sahib never asked for reservation. He was talking about self-representation. You have to look into it. But when it came the constitution, the name reservation was given. Now, what has happened that over the years, lot of confusion